Hey, hello, and welcome to another episode of Learn Everyday English, your roadway to English proficiency. Going to be talking a little bit about myself today, kind of going to be opening up and being a little bit transparent, as we say, transparent. You'll maybe learn a lot more about me, and might be good time for you to try to answer these questions for yourself and see if you can do that in English as well. So these are going to be 25 questions, more or less, to learn more about myself. I learned more about myself, and you can learn more about me as well. But before I get into that, hey, there's 3 things you can do for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and 3, tell your friends about it so that they can benefit from these videos too. Hey, just like you. All right, and before I get into that, remember I have my How to Talk Texan ebook. That's out on Amazon. You can find that in a link below. There's 2 links in the description. One goes directly to Amazon. The other one is a link that can take you to multiple sites on the web where you can find the book as well. And also remember, you can buy me a coffee. Help support this channel. So I can keep bringing you videos like this on a regular and routine basis. Been getting a lot of good comments. People like the videos. I've been uploading shorts every day about different English expressions. Have you been checking those out? If you haven't, make sure you do. Getting a lot of good comments and responses to that. So the channel's growing, and I'm happy. Over 5,000 subscribers, and the channel is monetized. So it's good. So I'm enjoying it, having a lot of fun in my retirement years. All right, well, without further ado, let's get going and jump into these questions. Okay, the first question is, what are 3 core values that guide your life? What are 3 core values that guide your life? And these are like ideas or values that are very important, major values in my life. And I would have to say, 1 is to love God. I'm a Christian. That's one of the important values I have. 2 is just to be honest, and, not lie. I think that maybe that's a quality we don't see a lot anymore, maybe especially in the news and especially in politics. And the 3rd core value that I say I have that guides my life is I just try to treat people like I want to be treated. I try to treat people like I want to be treated, treat people fairly. I think if we can do that, it would go a long way to making this world a better place, but we'll see. The second question is, what is your biggest passion in life? What is your biggest passion in life? I would have to say overall, my biggest passion in life is to live life to the fullest each day. And what I do is when I wake up in the morning, I say, thank you, God, for allowing me to wake up and to see and to live another day. I have a chronic health condition. Some days are better than others. So every day that I'm blessed with, I'm happy to be able to open my eyes and use this day to the fullest. But I also say a big passion of mine is Spanish. I love the Spanish language, and every day I do something to help improve my Spanish, whether it's listening to podcasts or watching videos and that type of thing. So I practice every day. And I have a goal of, eventually trying to be as fluent as I can. And a goal is to be able to watch a Spanish movie without Spanish subtitles. So I think in about a year, that's a goal I have set for myself. That's my biggest passion in life, is to live life to the fullest each day and to be thankful for what I have. The next question is, if you could only describe yourself with 3 words, what would they be? That's a good question. It's hard to say maybe to describe yourself in only 3 words. But I would have to say I would describe myself as calm. A lot of people tell me that. I remember one friend of mine told me, I think back in college or right out of college, he said, "Hey, man, when I look at you and look into your face, I just see calmness. I just see peace." And I was like, wow, I didn't really know that. But yeah, overall, I'm a very pretty calm person. I don't get excited or upset or irritated about a lot. But when I do, I'm human. I have emotions as well. The second thing I would say to describe myself was that I am patient. I'm very patient. I'm not as patient as I used to be when I was younger, because I think as you get older, you get tired of a lot of the nonsense and the games that people play. But I'm still, compared to most people, a very patient person. And third, I would say I'm a very hard worker. When I have a goal or something to focus on, I want to do the best job possible. I hate just throwing something together and doing, mediocre work. And that's when I worked at the city. Yeah, I worked a lot of overtime, extra hours I never got paid for, just to make sure that what I did was a very good job. And people would say, "Gary, they can count on me to do a good job." The next question is, what is something you are most proud of achieving? I would have to say one of the things I'm most proud of achieving is that I had a career for myself at the city of Houston. I worked there for 30 years as an engineer in 2 departments, in the Department of Public Works and then Solid Waste. And I was able to work for that long, 30 years, and I was able to retire with a pension. And I was able to retire at a fairly young age of about 56 years old, which doesn't happen very often this day anymore. So I'm very proud of achieving that. What is your biggest fear? This is really a good question. I had to think about this. I have to say my biggest fear in a global method or way to describe this is to not be able to complete what I want to do. And I say that in this way because, I have this chronic health condition and I have my ups and downs in life. Some days are better. Some days I feel, pretty good. Other days I don't feel that good. And it's an incurable disease. I don't know what the future holds. Things could get worse very quickly, or I could stay in this condition for the rest of my life. I don't know. So it brings a lot of unknowns. So that's why I try to enjoy each day that I have. But fear is that this condition will worsen quickly, and I won't be able to do or complete the things I'd want to do in life. So that's my biggest fear, I would say, the unknown of my health condition. What is your greatest strength? I'd have to say my greatest strength has to do with I couldn't come up with just one, so I have 2, is my ability to problem solve or to figure out ways to solve problems. And this comes from my background in engineering, because engineering is all about solving problems, looking at a situation and try to determine what's the best way to get things done or to fix things. I think I'm very good at doing that. But also, I'm also very good at getting along with people, getting along with a lot of different types of people. I guess my personality, we could say, sets people at ease. People feel comfortable talking with me and interacting with me. I don't come across as a threat to people. They don't see me as threatening, so they can open up and talk to me. So I think that's my 2 biggest strengths, is my ability to problem solve and also to get along with all types of people. What do you wish you were better at? Another good question. I wish I was better at telling people how I really feel, because a lot of times I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I don't want to hurt people's feelings, And sometimes I hold back on what I really think about certain things or what I really think about people that might be helpful to them. So I wish I were able to be more open and honest with people and just not be afraid to express my opinion and express my feelings about certain things. So I'm getting better with that as the older I get, but it's a work in progress, as we say in English. Hey, the next question is, what is your favorite way to spend a day off? You have a kind of a routine. I like to get up usually around 7:30. I really enjoy fixing breakfast and eating breakfast, and I have a routine where I check the news, and then I play a game called Wordle on my computer every day, and so I have a routine. I do that. I like to then take a walk around the neighborhood, a 2-mile walk for about an hour, workout exercise. Also like to, play some music. I'm learning the Irish tin whistle. Maybe also study Spanish, which I do every day. So that's kind of what I really enjoy doing every day, is to have a routine, but also like doing different things, maybe going out to the park, spending a day out with my wife, going to the mall, going to events, fairs, festivals, that type of thing. But on a typical day, I have a routine, and I like to do those things. The next question is, what is your ideal vacation destination? I would have to say my ideal vacation destination would be a place in Mexico. I like Mexico. Mexico gets a bad rap, we say in English, has a bad people have a bad impression of Mexico as being dangerous or unsafe, and a lot of those things. But I think it's not as bad as people envision it to be. You just have to be careful, just like any other city and country in the world. But I'd really like to go on vacation for an extended period of time, like 2 or 3 months. Spend it in a city in Mexico like Querétaro or Oaxaca or San Miguel de Allende for 2 or 3 months, so I could just immerse myself in the culture and language. I can get to know the people, how they interact, and just improve my Spanish. So that would be my ideal vacation, is to go to one of these cities in Mexico, or even I'd like to go back to Mexico City. It's a great city, a lot of things to do there, and a lot of things to learn and see. I don't think I would like to live there because it's too big and it's too much traffic. But for a specific period of time, I would really like to go back there. The next question is, what is your favorite hobby or activity outside of work? Well, as most of you know, I'm retired, so I'm very appreciative of that. I'm thankful for that. So I don't have to worry about work. But my favorite hobbies would be, like I said, to study Spanish is probably my greatest passion, but also to play music, learn different musical instruments. I'm a member of a ensemble group called the Joy of Djembe Drumming. So I play the djembe drum, which is a type of African drum. We practice twice a month. And we have performances during the year all around the Houston area. So I like to do that. And I'm learning to play, like I said before, the Irish tin whistle. I play the bass guitar, so I really love music. So those are kind of the two hobbies I like to do, as well as make videos for this YouTube channel. Next question is, what kind of music do you enjoy listening to? I like to listen to a lot of different types of music. I like R&B, we say in English, or rhythm and blues. This could be like Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross, that type of thing. Old music from the 70s, 80s. I also like to listen to reggae music, Bob Marley. But I also like to listen to some Spanish music. Who's this singer from Juan Luis Guerra? La República Dominicana. I like merengue and that type of thing. Salsa music, bachata. And also like to listen to Irish music. So I have a very varied interest in music. I like to listen to a lot of different types of music. And what is your favorite book or movie? I would have to say my favorite book is a book called The Search for Significance. I read this book in college and it really impacted me and it changed my life greatly. And this is a book based on kind of a Christian concept that everybody's looking to be significant or important in life, and we find that in whatever way that is meaningful for us. But a lot of times we try to find significance in things we shouldn't, like how much money we make, or what type of job we have, what type of house we have. But those things really don't last. They don't give us significance for the long term. And this book said, hey, I don't have to try to prove myself to others. I'm totally acceptable just the way I am to God. And I shouldn't be putting a lot of pressure on myself trying to be significant. Just be myself. And this really changed my whole life for me. I used to worry a lot about getting good grades, doing good in school. And I put a lot of pressure on myself. But after reading this book, taking the information to heart, we say in English, or applying it, my stress level just dropped greatly, and I was able to be more relaxed and live a lot more stress-free. So that was my favorite book that I've read. Favorite movie? I would say my favorite movie as a series would maybe be the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I like fantasy, science fiction, that type of genre of movie. What is your favorite food? Well, I can answer this in two different ways. Maybe what was my favorite food and what is my favorite food, because as I said before, I have a chronic health condition which prohibits me or doesn't allow me to eat a lot of different types of food. So I can't eat carbohydrates, starches, and sugars like breads, pastas, rice, potatoes, cookies, drink juices. So I basically just eat chicken, fish, and a lot of vegetables. So that really limits what I can eat. But my favorite food, I would have to say, is baked chicken. I just love baked chicken. And for vegetables, I love green beans. So those are my two favorite foods I can eat now. But I remember when I used to be able to eat a lot of different types of foods, I would have to say my favorite food, I have two maybe. One's a entree, one's a dessert. Used to be deep dish pan pizza from Pizza Hut. Man, that was some good stuff back in the day. And for dessert, I like to eat Bluebell ice cream, and I would crush or put in the ice cream either Oreo cookies or Reese's peanut butter cups. And I would eat that together. Man, that was some great stuff. So sad to say I can't eat that anymore. I just can think about it right now. Hey, what is your preferred learning style? Actually, my preferred learning style is I like to learn things on my own. Like all the musical instruments I've learned, I've just either purchased books or gone online on YouTube, or sometimes there's websites that help you learn how to play instruments. And I just go through that material and I teach myself how to play music and just practice, so self-taught. And that's kind of the same way I learned Spanish for the most part. I just got books or signed up on some online classes and just self-paced, self-motivated. I just studied on my own. Once I decide to do something, I'm kind of passionate about it, and I can spend a lot of time doing it. But in Spanish, I have taken some classes, formal classes in Spanish, online too. But overall, I think my approach to learning is self-taught, being self-taught. The next question is, who is your biggest inspiration in life? I was trying to think about this, but I don't know if I'd have to say Jesus Christ as being a Christian, for he led by example. He sacrificed himself, gave his life up for me. And I try to, live my life according to the precepts, I guess, of the Bible and how you should treat people and treat other people. And I think that was probably the biggest inspiration in my life. But there's another person that I really admire, though, and this might seem a little bit odd, but I met a young man. He was 18 years old on Facebook in the Facebook group about gastroparesis, which is the illness that I had. And this young man was confined to a wheelchair. He had a very serious health situation, much more serious than mine. He had a feeding tube. He couldn't eat normally by mouth. And he was in the hospital all the time with health issues. But the thing I admired about him greatly was he was always positive. And even when I was feeling a little depressed and down with my health situation, he actually encouraged me. He made me feel better, even though he was in much worse condition than I was. And sad to say, after about 2 years after I met him, maybe about a year ago, he ended up dying. He ended up passing away. But I read the comments that people were telling about him, and everybody said the same thing. He touched their lives. He was so positive all the time, even though he was living a very difficult situation. So this young man really was an inspiration to me. So you never know who's going to impact your life. I'll put a picture of him up on the screen. Hey, what qualities do you admire most in others? Well, I admire people that are fair, that have a sense of fairness, and people that have respect for other people, people that don't lie and just make up things just to get what they want. I like people that are fair and just and righteous, and also like people that have a good sense of humor, How do you like to, next question is, how do you like to spend time with your close friends and family? Hey, I like to maybe go out to a park, go out to a restaurant. I like to really go out to festivals and fairs, or also with family and friends, maybe visit a new country. I love going with my wife on vacation to Mexico or to other cities here in Texas or in the United States or other cities, or just spend the day out if it's a nice day out in the park, that type of thing. The next question is, what is your preferred way to connect with people? I think my preferred way to connect with people is, although I consider myself somewhat of an introvert, kind of a quiet person, but I like to talk to people. I like to see where they're at, where they're coming from, what interests we have. So I think my way of connecting with people is just to talk with people and to share about life experiences. And that's what I really love about Spanish, because it opens up a whole new world for me. I can, watch news in Spanish, learn about things that are happening in different countries. I love comparing how is life here in the United States versus life in other countries. And when I speak with other Spanish-speaking people, I have a lot of questions. Hey, how do you do this there? What is life like there? How's the educational system, the health system? And I ended up having very good conversations with people. So I say I like to talk and get to know people. The next question is, what is one thing you wish you were better at communicating? And I think I touched on this earlier. I think I would like to be better about expressing my thoughts and opinions especially about difficult topics, about politics, and maybe even religion. Those are topics, people say you shouldn't talk about. But in the right context, I think it's okay. But sometimes I hold back, don't want to express my opinion for maybe offending somebody else or getting to an argument or a heated discussion, and just, we say, let sleeping dogs lie, maybe take the easy way out. So maybe better at expressing my thoughts and opinions. The next area in this list has to do with career and goals, but since I'm retired, I'll maybe approach these from a different point of view. Because the question is, what is your dream career path? So I could say my dream career path, I remember when I was in high school, I wanted to be an ecologist. But we had guidance counselors in our high school, and the guidance counselor told me, you don't want to go into ecology. It's going to be very difficult to find a job. Engineering is booming. It's a big thing right now. You're very good in math and science. You really need to consider going into engineering. So I took his advice and I changed and I went into civil engineering. And I guess in the long run, it worked out well for me. I was able to, get the job at the city of Houston and retire after 30 years. But sometimes I think, man, what would have happened? Or I wish I would have gone into ecology, followed my heart, and maybe how would my life be different today than it is now? But that's in the past. We say there's no use crying over spilt milk. What's done is done. I can't change it. The next question was, what is your biggest professional goal for the next year? Well, I can say maybe since I don't work, I don't have a professional work goal. But I guess, like I mentioned earlier, I would like to be able to watch a Spanish movie without using the Spanish subtitles. And I would like to, say for this YouTube channel, have, say, 25,000 subscribers by the end of next year. So that's a goal I would have. What is one skill you would like to develop further in your career? I don't know. I guess I'm pretty content with where I am right now. I think I'm trying to learn how to use a program called Canva, get better at producing graphics and that type of thing. I think that will help my YouTube channel. And so maybe that's one thing I would like to focus on, and also would like to improve my ability to play the Irish tin whistle. So those are some goals I have, maybe not professional, but personal goals I have. Next question is, what motivates you to work hard? And I would say that I'm somewhat of a perfectionist. If there's an area that I really like and want to get into, I like to somewhat try to do that as perfectly as I can. And sometimes that's a bad thing, because a lot of times I end up putting a lot of pressure on myself to try to be perfect, to try not to make mistakes. And that's what happened to me when I was in high school and college. I wanted to be perfect in school, make good grades. And sometimes I have a tendency to put too much pressure on myself, but that also motivates me to work hard. And that's why I've been able to pretty much be self-taught and like to do self-learning activities and learning how to play different musical instruments and learn a foreign language. What is your ideal work environment? I remember when I worked at the city, my ideal work environment to me was to, have my office and just have my projects and kind of work, I don't say by myself, but mainly, do my work and not have to rely on a lot of people, because a lot of times I know I can get the job done. I'm going to do a good job. I'm going to do it quickly. If I have to rely on other people, it's going to take longer. They're going to make mistakes, and I have to go back and follow up and check on what they did and maybe correct their mistakes. So to me, a lot of times that was a lot of hassle. I was good at managing people, but I didn't really like to do it because I was more self-sufficient. I know I could do a good job better than most people, not bragging, but just I took my job seriously and I could get it done. But that would be my ideal work environment. Just give me a project and let me do it pretty much on my own. If I need help, I'll ask, and I'll turn in a very good product. The last couple of questions here. What is one thing you're currently working on improving about yourself? I think I'm working on trying to maintain my health and to have a regular routine of health. So not say every day, but at least 4 or 5 days a week, I walk 2 miles and I work out, lift weights. I do some other activities. I try to eat healthy, watch what I eat, don't eat the wrong things to aggravate my condition. So that's one thing I'm really doing to improve myself and pretty much improve my health, or maintain my health, keep my health in a good state, a healthy state. What is a recent challenge you overcame? I had to think about this for a minute, but I recently overcame, and it took me quite a while, several years. But surprisingly, being a very slim or thin person, I have high cholesterol, and this is hereditary because my mom also had high cholesterol. And the doctor actually told me, yeah, a lot of times it's not what you're eating because I don't eat really unhealthy foods, especially compared to most people. He said it's just hereditary. Your body doesn't process cholesterol correctly. So, to my surprise, maybe 2 years ago, my cholesterol had shot up to or increased. It was like over 300, like 320. And so I had to start taking cholesterol medication. But the medication really wasn't working very effectively. It had dropped to maybe like 280, but it was plateaued. It had stayed at that level. And I was getting a little worried. They say high cholesterol can lead to other health problems, heart issues, clogging of the arteries. But I think a lot of the problem was I was on some other medication that interfered with the cholesterol medication and didn't allow it to work as effectively as it should have. So actually, at one point, I was on 3 different types of cholesterol medications, 2 pills and 1 injection. So I was taking that every month. But then I stopped taking another type of medication, which I think was interfering with the cholesterol. And my cholesterol dropped pretty quickly. Now it's like around 150. And now I'm only taking 1 medication instead of 3. So that was really a big health challenge, which I battled for like 2 years, but finally I was able to overcome that. What is your biggest regret in life? I don't know if I say really regret anything major because I see life as if I didn't do the things I did in the past, I wouldn't be where I am today. But I say I would have 2 regrets maybe, but then again, like I said, one regret I have is I never had kids. Although my first wife and I, we tried to have kids, but we weren't able to conceive or have children. So it wasn't really something that we decided not to do. It's something that we couldn't do or didn't happen. And sometimes I think, hey, what would my life be like if I had children of my own? But I can't worry about that. That's in the past. My wife has 3 kids and 6 grandchildren, and they love me and treat me with respect. So I consider them my children and my grandchildren. And I have a niece. My brother has a beautiful daughter, and she loves and respects me. So that makes it all worthwhile. And also, I think back on my life. My first marriage. Sometimes I regret. Maybe what would my life be like if I hadn't married my first wife, just being honest. But when we're young and, a lot of times we don't know what we don't know. But then I think again, well, if I hadn't gone through that experience with her and lived those 24 years being married and life happening afterwards, I would have never met my current wife, Rosa. So maybe everything works out for a plan. So in a sense, I can say I don't really regret that because it allowed me to experience what I'm experiencing now. Next question is, how do you practice self-care? And I think I touched upon this a little bit. I try to eat right, exercise, but also I try not to worry about small things. Like we say in English, don't sweat the small stuff. A lot of times we worry way too much about things that are never going to happen or things that don't really matter in life. And so I just try to keep everything in perspective and also be thankful and grateful for what I'm blessed with and try to focus on the things that I have and not the things that I don't have. And to me, that just brings a lot of peace. And the last question, next question is, what is one thing you are grateful for in life right now? So I'm grateful for many things. The health, although my health is not perfect, I wish I could change that, but I'm thankful for the health I do have because it could be worse. Other people have it a lot worse than I do. Thankful for my wife that I've met, second marriage, and thankful to be able to be retired and not have to go into work, fight traffic, deal with difficult people, and stress about work and that type of thing. I thank God every night for being retired and being able to receive a pension. And the last question is, what is one thing you could change? And I'd have to say one thing I wish I could change in my life is not have to deal with this health situation. I would really like to be able to function and live normally and eat like normal people. I can go out to a restaurant and eat anything I want, eat ice cream and pizza and breads and pasta. And that sometimes that really gets to me. Sometimes I do get a little bit depressed about it, especially now that we're coming up on the holiday season. You know, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, Christmas. And in cultures and countries, it seems like so much or everything revolves around or involves food. Everybody's eating at the kitchen table or the dinner table. You're inviting friends and family over to eat turkey dinner for Thanksgiving, or you're getting together for Christmas, or you're getting together for parties, and people are barbecuing, and everybody is eating. And a lot of times I have to bring my own food with me because I can't eat the food that they're going to be eating, or I don't know what they have, spices. I have a really bad problem with garlic and onions and a lot of spices, so a lot of times I can't eat foods that people prepare because they put a lot of spices in there I can't eat. So I have to be very careful. So a lot of times I have to bring my own food with me, which can be embarrassing. People look at you like, hey, what's wrong with him? Why is he bringing his own food? You know, and I feel bad. And so it just impacts your whole life. It impacts your whole mental faculties and your psyche. And I just wish I could live life as a normal person in the area of being able to eat normally. So that's the one major thing I wish I could change. But those are some questions about me. Hopefully maybe you learned a little something new. And what did you think? Did you learn something new about me? Hey, what's some things about yourself you would like for me to know? Did you have some of the same answers to the questions that I did? Hey, let me know in the comments. And if you want to practice your English, I think it would be a good idea. You could answer these questions about yourself in English. Maybe try to record yourself in a video answering these questions and see how well you can do. I think what I'm going to try to do is to answer these questions in Spanish and record myself and maybe post a video of me answering these questions in Spanish. So that's a challenge for you. And do you accept my challenge? Hey, let me know in the comments. And if you do, hey, let me know. Send me the video of you answering these questions in English or put it on YouTube and I can watch it, give you my input and comments. And it's just a good way to practice. It's a good way to push yourself. We say, get out of your comfort zone, and you can do it if you put your mind to it. All right, hey, well, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about it. And thanks for watching this episode of Learn Everyday English. Hey, we'll talk to you later. Hey, goodbye.